Hi, hello, my name is Gomer Joseph. I hope you've all been having a great day so far. Welcome back to another True Crime Tuesdays video. If you are new, I welcome you. Today, I'll be discussing a requested case of the tragic case of Jayna Murray. As I researched this case, I just found it to be absolutely horrific. It just seemed like Jayna was just living her life normally, but then all of a sudden, she lost her life over something so small. Now, I encourage you all to do your own research with this case and not just look at my video for all of the information. Here we go. Jayna Murray was born on November 22nd of 1980 in Arlington, Virginia, to parents David and Phyllis Murray. She also had two brothers named Hugh and Dirk. Jayna was known to be ambitious. She loved dancing and singing. She was known to be larger than life. She lit up a room. People wanted to be around her. Jayna was known to be brave. She enjoyed traveling and going on adventures. And most of all, she just loved life and lived it to the fullest. On March 11th of 2011, Jayna is 30 years old at this point, and she is working at Lululemon, which is like a yoga clothing store. That night, she was one of the last employees, so she was closing up the store, but instead, she was closing the store with a coworker of hers named Brittany Norwood. The next day, the store manager stumbled across something extremely disturbing. When the manager arrived, she saw that the door was unlocked and saw that the store was pretty much in shambles. And this is a female manager, and any manager, male or female, I think if you see, things that are not supposed to be there or things that are just odd, it will just be very, you just have that sense of like not wanting to go in by yourself. So she had a man with her. As the man who was with the manager entered into the store, he discovered Brittany Norwood in the bathroom going in and out of consciousness while she was tied up. As for Jayna, he noticed that her body was lying lifeless on the ground, and it seemed like someone took her life with a knife. So unfortunately, Jayna is no longer living, and you know, later on, when autopsies are done, like with further investigation, it was determined that Jayna lost her life so brutally. Someone took her life with hammers, a knife, and a wrench. With all these objects hitting you, it's just worse. It's just bad that these objects are hitting you, but what's worse is that Jayna was hit multiple times. So it was pretty much determined that this was a personal attack, but I'm going to go ahead and discuss that a bit in more detail later on. So unfortunately, Jayna is no longer living, but Brittany is found alive and she is taken to the hospital. As she comes to, Brittany asks how Jayna is doing. While she's questioned by police, she, of course, is informed that Jayna is no longer alive, but then she also states how she and Jayna did lock up the store, but then told Jayna that, as they were leaving the store, that she forgot her wallet, then asked Jayna to meet her back at the store. Brittany claimed that these two men in black followed her and Jayna into the store and attacked them both. But then Brittany claimed that after these two men attacked her, that she just blacked out. As the investigators began to look into this, they did know that an Apple store was right next to the Lululemon store, and they looked in the footage of the Apple store, and the footage did show employees at the Apple store listening in on the attack. Now, I don't know why these Apple store employees didn't call the police. Maybe they called the police, no, I don't think they called the police because the manager was the one who called the police. So did they inform the manager? Listen, I don't know, but all I know is what I gathered was that these Apple employees just heard the attack. There was some more footage near the store that did show two men dressed in black walking around the area like Brittany Norwood claimed. The police were able to track these men down, but they found out that these were employees in a nearby store and found out that they had nothing to do with the crime at Lululemon. Brittany is questioned again, and she begins to state how she believed that these two men were white and stated how they were both wearing masks. Eventually, Brittany's brother Chris would get in contact with the police, and he came with some very interesting thoughts. He told the police how he believed that his sister's story was not adding up. Because, the store, according to the story, these two men wanted to rob money from the store, but the Lululemon store didn't accept cash, but that they only accepted card. With what Brittany's brother is saying and with what the police found, investigators began thinking that Brittany was becoming sketchy. As the investigators kept digging, it didn't make sense to them that two men were conveniently there when Brittany and Jayna went back into the store, but also noticed, bloody footprints all over the place. But they also noticed that these footprints never left the store. As for the weapons that were used on Jayna and even Brittany, it was determined that these weapons did not come from outside of the store. These weapons came from inside of the store. As for Jayna's car, it was nowhere near the store. And Jayna, she worked there. So when you work somewhere, you should have your car parked near where you're working at. When Jayna's car was discovered, it was found in a parking lot 3 blocks away. And as the police were looking inside of Jayna's car, they noticed blood inside of her car. Specifically on the hat that was inside of the car. And the thing about, when they found the blood, they were able to do some DNA testing, and it matched with markings on Brittany's body. Now, the police were able to go ahead and speak with people around the area, and somebody did witness Jayna's car being driven, but they did not describe Jayna driving the car. The description they gave matched with Brittany's description. Once again, the police began questioning Brittany, and this time she gave her fingerprints. As they questioned Brittany, she claimed that she didn't know what Jayna's car looked like and denied ever being inside of Jayna's car before. Brittany also brings up that these criminals who took Jayna's life grabbed a hold of Brittany's driver's license and stated that they knew where she lived. But this is something that Brittany never mentioned to the police before. Once again, Brittany speaks with the police and tells the police that the criminals made her drive Jayna's car, but this is after the fact that Brittany told the police that she had never really seen Jayna's car and that she was never inside of Jayna's car. At this point, Brittany Norwood must think that these cops are Boo Boo the Fool, because she said that while she was moving Jayna's car, she did see a cop but was too afraid to ask for help. And while she is free to just roam around with this car, she decides to go back to the store with 2 dangerous criminals who supposedly knows where she lives. I'm trying to figure out is why on earth would these criminals even ask Brittany to drive Jayna's car in the first place? Investigators tell Norwood that they are just not buying her unbelievable story. Clearly this girl never took or ever did well in a creative writing class. Norwood's brother and sister were brought into the interrogation room, and the police tell her siblings that their sister is a monster. So while the police are out of the room, Norwood basically confesses to her brother, while the police are out of the room, that she did take Jayna's life. She didn't say in those exact words, but that's pretty much what she was implying to her siblings. But the thing is that while the detectives were outside of the room, The room was being recorded the entire time. Police had everything that they needed, so they proceeded to arrest and charge Norwood for taking Jayna's life. Now, y'all might be wondering, if you're not familiar with this case, like, why on earth would Norwood take the life of her coworker? The reason that the police give for Norwood taking Jayna's life is that Jayna checked Norwood's bag and found pants in that came from the store, but there was no receipt with the pants when Norwood claimed that she bought the pants. When Norwood pleaded with Jayna not to say anything, Jayna called the manager anyway, and that's pretty much when Norwood snapped and brutally took Jayna's life. And I'm honestly like not saying this to like try to be funny like at all, but like, you're an employee at the store, like, pants, you really have to go ahead and steal pants? Like, you have a paycheck. Like, I'm pretty sure like as an employee you can like even get like a discount. Like, you literally, like, was the pants like really that important? Like, you really had to go ahead and steal pants? Like, honestly, like, you really couldn't go to like another store to like, or like go on Amazon? Well, it was 2011, Amazon was still around, but it's like you couldn't like just buy pants from anywhere else? Like, why in the world? Like, what do you have to do? What in your mind makes you think that you would want to go ahead and steal expensive pants from a place that you work at, and then when you're caught, you proceed to go ahead and not just, because I'm pretty sure, if the store finds out that you stole the pants, like, I'm pretty sure you won't get into that much trouble with the law. Like, the most that will happen is that you get fired, but it's like, you couldn't just go ahead and just take the L. You really had to go ahead and take your coworker's life when your coworker was the one who was doing the right thing. The unfortunate thing is that Norwood had a history of thievery. Like, back in the day when she was a teenager, she was like involved with like sports and everything, but unfortunately for her, she lost her scholarship because she just kept stealing. At one point, she was engaged to a doctor. Like, she could literally, like, again, I am literally not saying this to be funny, but it's like, you are engaged to a doctor. Like, you could have been set, but instead, I mean, there was no reasons as to why she broke up with the doctor. But, I mean, with what's going on with Norwood, I'm starting to think that she's the problem. Because after she and the doctor broke the engagement, she was breaking into his house and stealing items from him. A trial takes place, and praise the Lord, Norwood is found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. If Jayna were still alive today, then she would have been 43 years old. Instead, she is only alive through the memories of those who loved her and knew her. Brittany stole Jayna from her loved ones, and if she does not repent of her sins and trust in Jesus Christ alone to save her, then she will be facing the punishment for what she did to Jayna for the rest of eternity. Even though Jayna did receive justice, her loved ones still miss her dearly. My prayer is that God comforts Jayna's loved ones and that they would seek God in their mourning. I thank you all for taking the time in your day to watch this video. If you did like this video, please feel free to hit the like button. If you have any thoughts on this case at all, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you'd like to see more videos from me, please feel free to subscribe and click the bell to be notified about the next video. If there is a certain true crime case that you'd like me to cover, go ahead and let me know. I will see y'all for next True Crime Tuesdays, and I will talk to y'all later.